and happy Sunday to everyone here. My name is Mark, Mark B. Lee, to be exact, and I'll be your host for this segment of Mark Knows Everyone. And what I did not choose the name. Okay, my name is Mark. What it is, we when I was doing this for years and years, I put up to people what should we name this new show, and they came up with the name. So I'm being very modest now. I had nothing to do with this. There was that fault. I am happy, proud. It's one thing about. Oh, by the way, let me let me excuse myself from the part of the intro that you saw. I do another show called Saturday Morning Cartoons, where every Saturday we go back in time to the cartoons that you watched when you were growing up, and somehow that got stuck into this intro. So my apologies. Not that my next guest or my guest that's coming up isn't very animated. It's just I wasn't set up to show what you guys saw in that. So I'm very excited about this show. One thing I love about authors, writers, anybody who's creative like that, is that I don't have to do it. I don't have to come up with the stories, the ideas, and things like that, because that's a lot of freaking work. And I don't want to get involved in that. What I do for the last 35 years is I'm an international show host, and basically I moderate conventions, Comic Cons as they call it. I used to do two shows a year in Germany for 20 years. You know, we did Harry Potter conventions and all kinds of sci-fi and that kind of stuff. And then when the ability for podcasting, which I don't like that word, I call this webcasting. When that ability came up, we decided we're going to do a couple shows. So we actually do about 3 or 4 or 5 different types of shows for this. Okay, so let's get down to business here. I had a friend of mine submit this young lady's name and her credentials to me, and just basically asked that, you know, hey, can we have her on the show? And of course, I'm like, well, of course, she's a guest. Let's definitely have her. And then I did research on her. And it's not that I was going to negate what I had already approved of. I'm just excited as all get out, because at the age I am, growing up, I think everybody wanted to kind of dismiss their parent, or rather their dad or uncle, their brother, out of the room, mainly because of, and this was just absolutely perfect for this show. This young lady, who you're going to see in a few seconds here, obviously have a book, from what I understand, has yet to be released. I think I do have the release date for her. And we get to speak to her. You're getting an advanced view, her thoughts on how all this come together before you, in fact, can even buy the book. I'm assuming you could pre-order it, which we'll get to those facts shortly. The other thing I want to notice, like I'm doing right now, we do have the option, we do have what we call a chat room. And as you see what I just did, I could see the chats that pop up. If you have any questions whatsoever for this lovely host, you can go ahead and just type in the chat room. I'll put them up within reason. Okay, don't be crazy or anything. Already, Andrew has a question for her, so I'll make sure I remember to get back to that, Andrew. Thank you so much for watching. There are some things that I prepared for this show, and one of the things that I wanted to look up, basically, what is the definition of a dad joke? And I couldn't believe, I should have believed it, I couldn't believe it that, you know, it's the internet always comes through for you, especially. I don't think this was an AI generated question that I did, but this was the answer. And obviously this gentleman from Merriam-Webster, the dictionaries, if you know them or not, Peter Rubin, came up with this explanation. This is a wholesome joke of the type said to be told by fathers with a punchline that is often an obvious or predictable pun or play on words, and usually judged to be endearingly corny or unfunny. Why anyone want to put out a freaking book on all of that, I have no idea, but we definitely will get into that. And of course, one of her quotes by the way, I never said her name, Brett Bell, of course. She says, everyone loves a good dad joke, but the question is, why do dads get to have all of the fun? Yeah, that's very true. So this lovely lady, if you've never seen her before, look at this. She's just brainy. I'm not going to read all of this as if I was in school or something. I'm sure you guys can read this on your own. She's on TikTok. She's on Instagram. You can follow her. We'll talk a lot about where we can find her after the show. But you can see all of the promo pics that she put together. At one point, I had to look at under her nose to see if, in fact, that was a real mustache. But no, it is not. So without any further ado, let's go ahead and bring into Mark Knows Everyone. Her name is Brett Bell. Brett, how are you?
I'm great. How are you?
I'm excited. I can already tell that you reading a book on dad jokes is, so blasé. It's just so everyday that everyone out there should know dad jokes. I want to challenge you on that because I don't know where the originality of it comes from, but we're going to ask you that as soon as we find out who you are and where you are. Brett Bell, correct?
Yes. So I am located in Nova Scotia, Canada. I am mother of
love Canadians.
love Canadians. Good. I love most Americans. Just, a lot of
most. Oh, yeah, I got it. Yeah, me too.
Yeah, I'm a mother of 3. I live here, busy human. And about a year and a half ago, I did a silly thing and decided to post my face on the internet. And this is where we've gotten so far, which is beyond my wildest dreams of what was going to come from posting my jokes online.
Oh, okay. So, I mean, did you wake up one morning, or is this revenge against your husband or your significant other when he tried to tell you a joke and you said, "Nope, I can do better"? How did this come about?
I'm the dad joker out of the 2 of us. I am definitely the one that tells the joke. If I can make, because he doesn't actually love dad jokes the way I do. So if I can make him laugh, then I know it's a good one. I know I've got it.
Mm-hmm.
But
so you're basically saying that this was a conspiracy against your mom when your dad and yourself got together and started telling jokes that I'm sure she just hated hearing, right?
Honestly, my mom is a saint. She is a patient woman. The fact that she had to deal with me, my sister, and my dad in the house at the kitchen table making jokes at each other, or she would have us in a place that we weren't supposed to be laughing, and we're trying to keep it together, and just impossible, not capable of doing that. It's a family trait. It's nothing that I have control over. I've learned.
Okay, but does she laugh at these, Brett?
Yes.
Does she laugh?
Yeah. She does. She's got a great sense of humor, and so does her family. I've got one side of my family's from Cape Breton, Nova Scotia. It's a lot of maritime humor, really quick, really fast, really fun. Such quick humor that sometimes you're listening to it, still processing if it's a joke or not before they move on to the next thing. And my dad's from Glasgow, Scotland, so then we get the dry side as well. That dry Scottish humor, the UK British. Silly, just I feel like they do anything for a laugh.
Okay, so Nova Scotia, obviously it gets cold in the winter, and because you're north, you're way north, and all that kind of stuff. So your local pubs or your local bars or your establishments there, are you listening to dad jokes when and if you're in any of those establishments?
I worked in bars and restaurants as a bartender for years. I worked all over the world in bars and restaurants, actually, but a lot of it was in Nova Scotia. And I think that's part of where it comes from, but also being able to take a joke isn't always the easiest thing. So being able to laugh at yourself, which I think a lot of this page has become, is me being so silly that people are surprised that someone's willing to embarrass themselves like that.
Well, I'm sorry. I'm from a family that thinks they're funny, and of course I'll go as far back as my grandfather, who the original pull my joke kind thing that's going on here, and you know, I try to just ignore it. But one of my questions for you, I'm going to visually show you.
Okay.
Because when I saw it, I think I did a countdown myself. I didn't have to count down myself, but it took probably 3 to 5 seconds before I just laughed hysterically. So I didn't get to the next one because I was still laughing at the first one. So my audience here, I want you to see if you can handle this. So stand by for a second.
Did you guys hear that the company who makes yardsticks won't be making them any longer? What do you call 10 rabbits marching backwards? A receding hairline. You guys want to hear something crazy? This year for my birthday, I am only allowed to celebrate for half of a minute. Because it's my 32nd birthday.
And you're still married, right?
Yeah, that I didn't. My thing wouldn't let me hear those, but I know the jokes well.
Okay, you couldn't hear it. Hopefully, my audience heard it. Joe, I know you're watching right now. If you could chime in and tell me if you heard that joke completely. I won't play it for you again. Okay, I'm not gonna torture you. But
don't put anyone else through that, please.
Look, Brooke, Brett, they're hilarious. I mean, like I said, the first one, I couldn't get to your second one or third one. Obviously, I didn't know there was a third one, but I couldn't get. I was laughing because I'm sitting here almost brain farting, and like 1001. I thought, oh my god, that was hilarious.
You got to think about them.
Yeah, but what is? Oh, we got questions coming. Hold on for a second.
Okay.
Let's see.
Okay,
okay, good. So Mike heard it.
So they were heard.
Yeah. Who is this? Wooten? I guess that's the name. Yeah.
Wotan.
Okay, so everyone heard it. Yeah,
okay.
Wotan. Okay, you know him, obviously. Yeah. Okay, and here comes Cecilia. Hi, Cecilia. How are you? Hopefully, you guys were laughing along with me. And in fact, I want a poll. I want to take a poll right now on everybody who at least chuckled on that clip. So, your book,
yes,
it signifies that you have 300 of these jokes. That can you you're not gonna lie to me. Did you come up with all 300 of those jokes?
You know what? The jokes, I see dad jokes are a weird one. They're hard because, like I said, I grew up hearing these jokes, hearing little quips, hearing play on words, punny, silly. So I can't take full credit as being something that I haven't heard previously, but they were all ones that I had in my brain, and I researched trying to find the original owner for every single one of them, and trying to go through and to provide the recognition that we would want to give. But a lot of it was just my brain seems to retain a Rolodex of dad jokes for some reason. But it's not.
Let me tell you. Go ahead. Keep finish that.
So much about the dad jokes I found with this as just humor in general.
Yeah. Well, obviously, people online right now they considered it funny. I did. I already confessed to the fact that I couldn't stop laughing after the first one. I actually told it around my office, and they laugh. And we're generational around our office. There's me, there's my boss who's younger than me, and then there's his children. So over 3 generations, I think that everybody actually laughed at it. So kudos to you. All right. So like I have said before, if you guys have questions, comments, anything you want to say, they're going to pop up on screen as I read them. If you keep seeing me going back and forth, is because I have a little eye problems, had eye surgery that I'm just trying to see this. By the way, Brooke, I keep calling you Brooke only because my friend Joe is online. His daughter name is Brooke, and I talk to her a lot. You're a Brett, so I got to get the viewers together. I am watching you currently on my 86-inch TV. This is how you're coming in to me. Yeah.
I am so sorry for you. my face in front of.
No, you're a very, very attractive woman there, and I just want to know. I know there was a question here that I wanted to get to this guy before I lose him. If I could span back up and find that. Andrew is his name, and he's asking before I get to mine is, what is your inspiration for starting the context? He says, what is your inspiration?
My inspiration for starting content, I think, was really just to make people laugh. So before I started Mom's Dad Jokes on my own personal account, I liked to post funny, silly memes or things that came across my page. Anything that made me laugh, I would just share it. And it got to a point where people I didn't know started following me. I wasn't with any intention of getting it out there. It was just to my own friends and family. But people would start following, saying, we sit down and listen to your jokes at work every morning, or we read the ones that you post every day because they're funny, they make us smile. And for some reason, one day the thought crossed my mind to use my face to do that. And then it really snowballed from there. So when I first started, it was just one silly joke, thinking, I wonder, if I could pull that off, if I could make someone smile with that. And then it became a challenge for me, which is normally a motivating factor. And the challenge was just to see if I could get better at this thing. If I'd never really tried entertainment or any form of online media, anything. And so when it came down to it, it was just to see, I wonder how far we can take this. And I wonder if people are actually enjoying it. Eventually we got to the point where I was getting very sweet messages, very encouraging. These jokes are getting me through hard times. These jokes are something I can share with my kids, etc. It only brought in positivity, and it's kind of stayed that way. So that's kept me invested.
Okay. Well, you're not making everyone happy. I'm sure this is in jest, especially what I just said. But your friend here, Andrew, you do know this man, right? You, Andrew?
I know Andrew. Yes, I do.
Yeah. Well, he has a hair complex.
I appreciate you.
He has a hair complex, which means lack thereof. And he says he's offended. So did you write a bald joke? Did you write a bald joke?
Oh, just a receding hairline. What do you call 10 rabbits marching backwards?
I'm so stupid. Yeah. Andrew, she didn't say receded all the way, and she didn't mention hairline. Okay. Yeah, come on, dude. And of course, your friend here, you kill him. Obviously, they love you. Robert Bell says your delivery is awesome on every joke. How many retakes per video? That's actually a very good question, because you are both actor and director. Anybody who films in their car, you see them on TikTok or Instagram or whatever, I'm wondering how many of those they erased and had to redo again. Can you give us an answer for that one?
Yeah, I can. I mean, it kind of depends on the joke. What I tend to do is another thing I found difficult here is you got to get yourself ready for online stuff, for media, everything. I don't get myself ready as often as I've needed to in this past year to be on camera. So I gotta, you get yourself ready, you go out, you take some videos, and sometimes I do it on my way into work, on my way back, on my way to get the kids, whatever it is that I can just pull over to the side of the road quickly, take a quick video. And it depends on how well I'm in the zone that day, but I'll take a couple. And I have a process that I started where I'll go through, I get my husband to look through them. He'll pick out ones that he thinks that are good. And then I send them off to a group of selected people I have, and they all have very different types of humor. So then they'll vote on which one. And I know if they've all voted on the same one with all of that different humor, it's going to be all right. Like, it's going to be okay, a good, well received. But I find sometimes they'll each vote on one different one, and I'll send it to subscribers. I really like to get other people's opinions on it's the part, half of it is delivery, right? Half of it is the experience of watching me struggle to get through the jokes, I think. And I genuinely do struggle. It's less acting and more me really liking this type of entertainment.
Yeah, but you do it awesomely, because watching your videos, and I haven't seen that many of them, you do understand, you know, waiting for the applause effect when you're presenting yourselves, and you know there's no one there to actually give you applause, at least when you're in your car. But watching you, your visual attentiveness and reaction to your own jokes. It's almost as if the dog's sitting on the couch next to you and he just farted. You will literally look in the camera as if you're asking the people, get it?
Get it? Yeah.
You know, like that. And it is spot on. It is just so freaking, that's what made me laugh the most, because you are funny, but you know somebody's going to say, oh, and you thought that was funny, huh? You know, you're just waiting for a reaction from us. Classic. It really is classic, you know?
I want people to say that's so dumb. I can't believe you made me laugh at that. That's one of my favorite reactions from people, is when they get really like that. Well, I mean, it's the same dad jokes in general. You do that to your kids and you want them to roll their eyes, right? You want them to you want them to scoff.
Yeah, Wooten asked here, how do you balance the mom thing with the internet fame? Listen to this, the internet fame. That's awesome.
Yeah. It's been coming up more and more recently. Just people contacting me saying they saw me out, or they come up to me at a restaurant or something. That's been happening a little bit, which has been interesting. I don't think it impacts my kids all that much. I don't think they really care, to be honest. They're busy. They're doing their own thing. But when it comes to trying to manage it all, my day-to-day life, I couldn't do any of it without my husband or without my family. They help so much. But they like to, they're starting to get to the age. I've got one that's in daycare. I've got one that's in elementary school and another one about to go into high school. And depending on which age I'm going for here, if I can get my oldest to laugh, then I know it's good as well, because he's just going to roll his eyes at me. And, you know, it's a teenager. But with my littles, they've started to make jokes back to me. They're trying to, you know, how did the booty butt cross the road? You know,
you know, that's what I was gonna. Wait a minute, the what crossed the road?
The booty butt. Booty butt's the best word in our house right now. That's the one. That's
booty butt.
Word. Booty butt. Yeah. No, that's just
booty butt.
Booty. Yeah.
Okay, but do they try to tell your jokes to their classmates when they're off at school?
Not yet. No, we're not. I mean, you get the why did the chicken cross the road? One of my kids is a storyteller at heart, and so she'll try and say the joke, and why did the chicken cross the road? And you say why, and she goes, well, his family lived over there, but he had to move here, and then he had a friend, then he had to go to the store, and then he came back. Like, she's got this whole backstory to it all. She tries. She does.
Timing's sounds like you got a. Yeah, it sounds like you got a little Mr. Spock there, because they logically thought this out and came up with a conclusion. That's going to be your moneymaker in that family, okay?
I know it.
Folks that are watching us right now, we're speaking to Brett Bell, and she wrote this very interesting book that has not come out yet, but you can get them. I would implore you to at least put in your order at these locations for this book. If you've ever been around a Thanksgiving Day dinner, and I know Canada doesn't, do you celebrate Thanksgiving?
In October, different time. Like early October. Ours is a month earlier.
Oh, okay. All right. So a month, but still, I can imagine you guys sitting around a table and someone pulls out one of those books, because you know the conversation that happens at Thanksgiving. Sometimes it breaks down into political. That's a great icebreaker to pull out that book and say, hey guys, have you heard this one, or things of that nature. This is going to go far with you. I feel it. My spidey sense. Joe Thompson, you know what I'm talking about. My spidey sense is going off right now. This may be your first podcast, webcast, as I like to call it. It's not going to be your last. I can literally see major morning shows. Okay, picking. My God, have you seen major morning shows right these days? They need someone like you just to come on, and in fact, we're going to get to a segment of this show where I'm going to ask if you could reveal. And for God's sakes, woman, you got 300 of them. You might give us at least 5. You know, if you can reveal some of your jokes, if you can remember them. I don't know how you can remember 300 jokes.
300. You know what? It's like you don't need to remember 300 jokes. It's the pun, right? So I've got this pen in my hand. I just like to take notes as I go.
That's good. That's good. Yeah.
You just like you don't need to remember the whole joke. You need to remember the pun. The lead up can look different every time, but the play on words, is where it's at.
Well, I'm just worried about saying it backwards. I don't want to say the punchline before I describe the body of the joke. That would suck for me. I would look stupid. You're so adept at what you've come up with. I just really want to repeat verbatim, what you came up with, even if I have to pull the book out from behind my back and read it to you.
And just sneaky reading.
Yeah. Let me ask you, what level of, okay, I'm going to say this because I don't know how any other way to put it. What level of cleanliness do any of your jokes approach? Like I mentioned early on, the pull the finger joke that all dads know and all children of dads know. I mean, what's probably your dirtiest joke in that category that you probably come up with? And you can say it. We're not governed by the FCC here. You can even curse if you want, but I doubt if you have that in your book.
I appreciate that. I'm not. Yeah, we're definitely leaning on clean here. So a lot of my joke, any of the jokes that are in that book can be told in front of your kids. That's the way I see it. If you go onto my Instagram, some of the memes I might post would be a little more, or maybe have a little bit more that you wouldn't want to bring your kids into it. And then on my subscriber page, if you're on my Instagram, I have a subscriber section, and there's some additional jokes that are on there that might be a little, we joke and call it MDJ After Dark, like it's an After Dark section.
I see. So you pull off the mask as if Scooby-Doo and the Scoobies just discovered you, and you tell less than appropriate.
I don't go hard. I like clean jokes. There's something about a clean joke that if you can make somebody laugh still, regardless of if there's profanity in it. I don't mind profanity. Like I said, I've worked in bars for years, and that's, part of it. I don't mind that at all. But if you can make somebody laugh because they've had to think about the joke and they piece it together themselves, that's so much better than throwing an F-bomb in there that just adds, it does. It's fun, and it can add to the punch depending on who you're talking to, but it's not necessary.
Yeah, I mean, it seems like it should be a science because, like I mentioned before, it took me, 3 to 5 seconds to break out laughing after seeing your video of that joke. And then there are jokes that you laugh at almost immediately. As soon as you put in the period behind that last word, you laugh out loud immediately. Do you have a level? Do you expect people to pause a bit with some of your jokes, or do you have the jokes that they're gonna laugh out loud immediately on?
You know what? I've been surprised. That's something that I wasn't prepared for. Some of the jokes that make me laugh the most, I'll post those, and they don't get picked up very quickly, or they're not. People don't get it, or they don't understand. And when you're talking about social media, something I've learned is those first 3 seconds really matter. So if you're scrolling through your social media feed and you don't like what you're seeing in those first few seconds, you're going to keep scrolling. And so whatever I post in those first 3 seconds, you got to grab people. If they hear a joke, they don't get it, they're probably going to keep scrolling again, It just really depends on the joke, but the facial expressions afterwards, staring people down, being like, do you get it?
I can see that really happening to me. I mean, you got that kind of moment. It's like, let me think about this. Andrew makes another good point here about yes, the swearing isn't necessary because obviously you got people in his house between 20 and 40, he says, and rugby. Wow, man, I bet they swear a lot. Rugby.
I know they do.
It's probably a good distraction for him to actually tell a clean joke.
Think about.
If you're sized up against somebody on the field or whatever, and one team trying to take the other team, trying to distract them a bit, get them off guard a bit, you tell them one of your jokes. Do you ever think that would help win the game?
Definitely.
Yeah, really?
But well, it depends. Like you gotta, same thing. It's the facial expressions, or it's the body language. It's all of it. Because if I'm telling a joke and someone doesn't realize it's a joke, they're just gonna move on, and in real life or online. But if I make a joke and now people are scrolling through, seeing my face and knowing it's gonna be stupid, then they're gonna stick around and try and figure it out. But previously, it took a while to have a few easy ones that people recognized, associated my face with stupidity.
Yeah. Are there any jokes that require pantomime or body language in order to emphasize more of the punchline? Do you have any of those jokes that, work that way or need to work that way?
I'm kind of leaning into those. This was, like I mentioned, this isn't something I had experience with prior. And as a busy mom of 3, and I have a full-time career that is very demanding, I do struggle sometimes to keep up with the demand of how frequently I'm supposed to be posting and how much interaction. Social media and I were never that close. We were never good friends. So I didn't know how to use it the right way. And that's all been trial and error from, the past year and a half. So there are some I'm trying to expand now. I've recognized recently that I think this is a path I'd like to keep taking. There was a while there where I felt I didn't know. It was just so busy and I was having fun, but where was I going? What was I doing with this? And I've started to connect with a few other creators, and we're going to see what else we can make of this, because I am having so much fun and I love making people smile. So I do think I'm going to be able to put more jokes out there we're starting to use some props and ideas in the jokes that I don't know, I just hadn't gotten that far yet.
Yeah, we have a lot of questions here. We're going to go ahead and try to get through, and we will. We'll get through every single one of them. But I'm going to ask this one question before we go to a few of these folks that I'm looking at in the screen right now that has questions for you. How did you convince a publisher? Did you use an agent? How, in fact, did you convince anyone that this is a book that should be published, created, put out there?
They came to me. I hadn't considered, well, that's not true. I had considered a book at some point, but I had only started this in March of 2024. So this was in October of 2024 that I was contacted by Topics Media in New York. And one of the people who are one of their higher ups had liked the page and was following it and said, I think this could be something fun to do, a joke book. Would you be interested? And it all kind of went uphill from there. That was a big turning point for me, realizing that this isn't just some silly, fun joke thing on the side, that there might be more to this than I realized.
So they discovered you over Instagram and TikTok. Is that what you're saying?
Yes. Yeah.
Wow. I guess those are kind of valuable assets there for people to get into TikTok and Instagram, to monetize, what it is they're doing, because obviously you just did. Folks, we're speaking with BELLE, who is an author. She's done a very unusual book, in my opinion, because there's a lot of joke books out there. Some of them, I wonder how they even got into publication, but this is a niche in itself. Okay, it's definitely. I mean, I think if a young lady took me over to meet their parents, and we retired to the living room and everybody's quiet and don't know what to say or whatever, I would have that book in my pocket and literally ask, "Hey guys, I don't mean to be rude, but I just want to kind of ask if you've heard this," and then open up a page and tell it to people. So look, here are some of the questions here that we're going by, because people are, oh wow, okay, let's go to Robert Bell's. Bob, thanks man, appreciate it a lot for the book. By the way, I'm located down here in Orlando, Florida. Please stay away. Okay, it's 99 degrees right now, and there are people standing in 2, 3, 4 hour lines at the theme parks, which I call idiotic. So stay home. You're in Canada, and look at me. I'm dark enough. There's no reason why I need to be outside right now. So we enjoy it. Bob asked, "You got any plans after this?"
After the book. I
Yeah.
do. I've got a few. I've got a few good ideas. I think that I think I'd like to start doing more interacting with people. I find that a lot of fun for myself. So,
What's that mean? Explain.
well, I mean, it's still very early in the process, but we have been considering close friend
Is
of
this,
mine.
go ahead. No, please.
Just considering in the lines of podcasting or interviewing, that types of communication. I really like talking to people. I like learning other people's stories, and I like laughing with people. I like making jokes just
Yeah.
naturally throughout conversation. I think that has a lot of everybody's going through it right now. Everybody's going through it. There's so much happening in this world. So if you can throw in a little bit of humor, then why not?
Yeah, it's fun. I've been doing this for 6 years now, and I've had a bevy of people, not just celebrities, but everyday people on here. And that's what I like doing. I like to make people smile, talk about them. And then speaking about talking about them, does your book touch on any politics or religion? Just so I know.
No, I really actually try to avoid that on my page as well as much as I can. Sometimes I'll throw some things out to subscribers here and there, but I've recognized now that politics has divided so many people, and you can't really be placed into one of two categories, which is often what it comes down to. You're either on this side or this side, and that's not really possible. I think there is a lot of in between there, and I think that in between needs to be become closer. And so I try to avoid all politics and otherwise in my page, because I know that some of the people who follow me do not follow in line with what I would agree with. But I also think if I can make that person smile, maybe they'll bring a little more positivity into their next move.
And I personally thank you for that. There's nothing funny about either one of those topics these days. I mean, if you want to make light of it, bring back Johnny Carson. But right now, it's just too antagonizing. Whether the joke is funny or not, somebody is always going to think it's not, and it just makes the whole situation worse. So thank you so much for that. I'm really looking forward to reading the book. Okay, so Wooten says, I've gotten nothing but I'm
scared. I can't see.
I'm sorry. Okay, here we go. I should just put it up and let you read it, but oh, I'm so sorry. Okay, can you see it? He says, for people who are just listening and probably aren't watching us, he says, I've got nothing but eye rolls from repeating her jokes. This is exactly what I'm looking for. Come on, Wooten. You're supposed to be making friends, man.
He just wants to bring people too. That's a dad if I've ever heard one. That's
nothing but eye rolls. Yeah, it seems like that's what your book would bring out in the moms. The dads would be high-fiving each other like crazy, but the moms, that's kryptonite right there.
I'm hoping to reach out to more moms here is what I'd love, because I got a lot of dads that come on there and say, I love your content, I love your jokes, I tell my kids, but I want the moms that didn't think that they were allowed to make those stupid jokes, that they just had to be serious mom and get things done, because you can do two things.
Okay, Brett. Let's be bipartisan here. Okay, let's really be bipartisan here. When are you going to put out mom jokes?
Mom jokes. Well, I mean, I think it's.
Why are you thinking so hard, Brett? Why are you thinking so hard? Because as a man, I can tell you a bunch of them. Okay, what's wrong? You don't want to do mom jokes?
No, I think that what I'm doing is kind of mom jokes. Like dad jokes, mom jokes is all the same. That's the point, right? Like it's all supposed to be. Yeah, it's all supposed to be just the same idea, the same dryness.
I just like Wooten, I kind of feel they're directed towards. I'm not a dad, but pretend I am. But I kind of feel they're directed towards us. These jokes that you tell, they are directed towards us. Can't we say something about our moms?
Like you make jokes at your mom or about your mom. That's different.
Okay. I'll make one up. There's a spontaneous joke
Okay.
about moms that I just came to me right at this moment as we spoke. I probably have to preface it with the kids are playing in mom's closet again, or whatever. And one kid says to the other kid, this girdle doesn't make me look any thinner. Okay, so moving on now. I'm here all night. Okay, so
you tried.
Well, that's the only thing that I could think of. I can't remember when I knew what this thing was that was in my mom's drawers. You know, no pun intended, but in her, whatever. I didn't know what this was, and of course, when I actually saw it physically on probably my mom or grandma, whoever, you know, it kind of perplexed me. So that's the first thing. So Joe here, moving on, says, ever thought about stand-up?
I have not thought about stand-up, really. No, to be honest, this is as it is. This has become such a much bigger part of my life than I had considered it would be. So I'm still just trying to get by with what I'm doing. If an opportunity ever came up, I don't think I'd ever turn something down to try once. I would always try stand-up. I would always try things, but I don't think dad jokes would work so well for stand-up. I think I would want to bring more to a stand-up.
I beg to differ. You ever watched The Marvelous Miss Maisel?
Actually, I know the show, but I don't think I've ever seen it.
I think you should. You remind me of her, which she actually portrays Lois Lane in the newest Superman movie.
Oh.
But there were Joe Thompson helped me on this. I don't know how many seasons, maybe 2 or 3 seasons, and I think that's a Netflix production. I think Joe, if you can, The Marvelous Miss Maisel. I see you. You know, I never want anyone to copy someone else's routine, but in terms of stand-up in general, if she can do it and has done it successfully, I can see you doing that as well. Ladies and gentlemen, Brett Bell is still here with us. We have a little bit more time left. If you have your questions, get in the chat room and shoot us questions. Ask her, you know, anything you like to know regarding the book, at least, because I still have personally a lot more questions about the book myself. But Brett, I see. Brett, who staged you for these photos? This looks like a professional job here.
Yes. Oh, okay. There's a funny story about the pictures. I ended up having to do 3 different photo shoots for the cover of this book. And that was because of myself, really, if I'm being honest. There was a friend of mine who was a phenomenal photographer. She likes to do outdoorsy, though, and she did, you know, outdoors, real life kind of shots. And I had asked her, would she mind taking my pictures for this book? And unfortunately, she said, yes, I would, but I don't do this style of photography. So, you know, you're going to have to put it together. So I brought the lights and I did the things, and I tried to get myself ready for a photo shoot that I've never tried before. And I didn't know what I was doing. And it was so hectic and busy that by the time she showed up, and she had her little baby with her because she was just doing me a favor here and was on maternity leave.
Yeah.
And she went, we pulled this together, and she showed up, and I realized I hadn't done my hair. And I thought, you know, that's okay. We'll try and make it work. Movie magic. I don't know how pictures really work. So how photography, people who do it, I don't know how that works. So we did this photo shoot, and I sent it off to the book publishing company, and one of their team members called me a week later, and he was so kind and so sweet, tried so gently to say, how do you normally do your hair? Like, how does that normally get done before your videos? And I said, well, you know, I just do it. And he said, okay, so we're going to get you to do another photo shoot, but I need you to do your hair this time. Like, I need you to fix the situation you had going on there. He was very kind and sweet about it. And I totally understood where he was coming from, because I didn't do my hair. And then the next time came around, and I called her back and I said, I did that. That was my mistake. Let's do another one. So we wanted one for the cover. And for some reason, I don't know if anybody else gets like this in front of a camera, but I froze the whole time. She was there for an hour and a half, and every picture looked like I was trying to do one of those LinkedIn photos of like really, really stiff, really uncomfortable, really. And after that photo shoot, I sent those off again. And once again, the publishing company came to me and they were like, this is not going to work. This is not it.
Wow. Jeez.
Yeah. Thankfully, the third time around, they said, okay, here, we're going to help you. Because this is, like I said, my first time doing all of this. They said, we're going to help you connect with somebody we think might be good in your area. They helped me find a good photographer close by. We arranged all that. And they said, we just want you to have a white shirt. And my stubborn butt, I went with everything. I went with everything except for a white shirt. I went shopping and I bought white patterns and I bought all of these different options. And I showed up at the photographer's and she said, they asked for a white shirt. Why don't you have a white shirt? Where's your white shirt? And the luckiest, which seems to happen to me a lot, I think. I have a lot of luck. But I happened to be across the street from a few friends of mine, and I sent a group message out, and I said, does anybody have a white shirt? One of my friends responded saying, I have one for you in the perfect size. It was phenomenal. And I went and I picked it up, and I ran back, and we got the pictures done, but these photos did not come without some obstacles. It was one after the other of just me not knowing this business and trying to get through. But the mustache itself.
That is amazing, because if you think about it, you know, actors and actresses are scrutinized about the way they look before they go in front of a camera, which you were doing the same exact going in front of the camera, but man, were they anal. You know, it's like
there were just a lot of specifics.
Yeah, your hair doesn't look any different. I mean, it's a little fuller, but
this is
looking at you here.
I did my hair for that one. I properly did it. In the one that you see on the cover is
the book?
Time around, once we had done all 3 photos.
Well,
yeah.
Well, I'm sorry, lady. If that's the case, they should have left you well enough alone. Your hair is beautiful here. Is this the pro shot right there?
That's the pro shot. Yeah, that's the last one there. That was the last.
That's the pro shot.
Well,
I'd like to know what the people in the chat room think between these two and this one. I like this one, and you did that yourself.
Well, no, the mustache was all part of that. Was all part of that same final photo shoot, is what I'm saying.
That's fine. That's fine. I'm just talking about the hair. You did
your
hair.
Yeah. Those are all good.
Yeah, and it looks a lot better than the people who are getting paid the big bucks. You know, in these shots here. It's okay, whatever. Anyway, all righty. More questions. Number one, when I told that girdle joke, my friend Joe wants me to keep my day job. No, I got more. I'm just warning you, Joe. I got more. So, you know, mind your own business. What's the big? Okay, Wooten has some great questions. Wooten is always coming up with some stuff as I read it here. Okay, he says here. Oh, here we go. Cool. What's the biggest challenge you faced? Oh, good question. What's the biggest challenge that you faced on social media? Biggest challenge.
One of the biggest obstacles I've had so far, and I don't know if you've heard this yet, but this is my first webcast interview. The first one that I had received an email to do was Katie Couric sent me. I thought I'd received an email from Katie Couric, and it turned out to be a scam. That but I went to town. We posted about it. My family was watching in multiple countries. We were like so excited for this podcast, only to have it find out that someone was a scam. But I posted a video explaining all of that, and it actually brought in a lot of responses of other people who were in a similar boat. Other people who had received emails from Katie Couric or other podcasts saying that they were looking to be on there. So I think it's kind of just the social media in general, learning how to do this, learning how to.
I was a victim of a scam as well, worse than what you went through. But they're out there. They really are out there. what I've learned in my experience, that if a celebrity actually comments on your page or anything like that, don't take it as real, because no celebrity would ever post their address on any social media, because their posting opens them up to their locations, the whole 9 yards. So I would think a celebrity would probably contact you personally through a messenger or something like that.
It was on email. Yeah, it was an email.
Oh, it was an email.
Yeah, it was, and
Wow.
it looked good. We had a pre-call with them. My husband and I sat there, did a pre-call with them. It was quite elaborate. Even the questions that they had asked, I thought those are really good podcast questions for a fake podcast.
Wow. Okay,
yeah.
we have about 10 minutes left. When I mentioned to you about the marvelous Mrs. Maisel, and you should look that up. She is a stand-up comedian, but she's a housewife and whatever. She wasn't forced to be. Well, I don't know. She wasn't really forced to be a stand-up. It wasn't something she really thought herself as doing, and she ended up being fantastic in it. No spoilers here, but of course, there's profanity and slight nudity in it because it's Netflix for one thing. But if you just take a look at her personality, her demeanor, her delivery on her own jokes, you remind me a lot of that. And Joe says there was 5 seasons of Maisel on Amazon Prime. It wasn't Netflix, it's Amazon Prime.
Thanks, Joe. I'll go on there and watch those. That sounds great.
Yeah, the marvelous Miss Maisel. It's and like I said, she's Lois Lane in Superman, if you want to know what she really looks like or anything like that. But hey, so concerning your hairstyles and things of that nature, obviously Robert loves them all, and we do love them all. I'm just laughing at the fact that people who, are there on a full-time job to make someone look better than what they think they don't. It's funny that they failed. I mean, they look great. I agree with that, but you did a better job than they did. That's basically what I want to bring up on that. Okay, more questions? Anybody? We're waiting for you guys to pop up for more. One question was, when is the book drop? So I guess it's probably time to talk about that. And are these the only 3 locations, the 3 formats that will be carrying this or are carrying this book? I'm assuming.
Right. So the book drops on November 18th. I believe we're going to be doing a book launch in Halifax, Nova Scotia, I believe is the plan. Good Robot Brewing Company on November 18th. And those 3 pages are not the only ones you can get it on. You can get it on Barnes & Noble or any of the Indigo. There is, I think, the only Canadian company that I know for sure is there, and I get that question a lot. Otherwise, it's on my link on my social media pages on TikTok or Instagram. You can find on my link tree is all of the options that you can buy the book. So
okay, and I do believe I saw on Amazon, I think that cover price was $12.99. I think that's what I saw, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, and there's some deals going on. Like I know Barnes & Noble had a deal 2 weeks ago. There's a few of them, and I like to post those whenever because as much as, money's there, this is also just about putting smiles on people's faces, right? So I would like people to be able to do that within their budget.
Well, it's funny, but you say that now. I just want you to remember me when that money does matter to you at some point. But, it's just the first webcast, your first time here. Yay for you. So.
You're baby.
I just want you to remember me when you're stepping on my head.
I would never. I wouldn't.
Yeah. Oh, let me ask you a question because Brady has submitted some here that I'm trying to get to now. He had asked basically, besides the title, how does your dad jokes book differ from others? Are there any creative differences?
I don't know if I would say creative differences. I picked every single joke that's in there based on something that made me laugh. So that's the only thing that I can guarantee is different than other joke books is that this is every single joke in there is one that put a smile on my face or made me laugh. And if nothing else, I think I have a weird sense of humor that happened to resonate with people I didn't know, right? So if the comments I get regularly are just, I like your sense of humor, And if you like my sense of humor, then this joke should hit some funny bones for you, because it's all things.
That's incredible. It's I mean, yeah, there are copycats out there all over the place and whatever, but it's, you know, what floats to the top that really matters. And the fact that, you know, you even came on this show, you know, I usually have a good sense about people, at least I've been told. And man, I'm looking at something here, and next year you won't even know who the hell I am. Okay, I'm just saying. you won't even know.
You were my first ever interview, so that's not possible. I will remember.
Yeah, I know. You know, when all those flashballs start going through, and look, I've worked conventions with a lot of celebrities and really, really big celebrities, and they will be sitting behind signing tables for hours on end, and they can see the end of the line. Actually, they can't see the end of the line. And at some point in your lifetime, you're not going to want to do that anymore. That's when you're supposed to remember me. It says, you know, I'd rather just talk instead of signing all day long. So don't forget me. Okay, whatever you do, don't forget. Okay, guys, any more questions? We're going to go ahead and close this out. If you have something that you want to mention, and typically, I think this format, it's like a 20-second delay from what we say to what the people actually hear, you know, something like that. So that's why I kind of hover a little bit to make sure that if anybody has any additional questions, go ahead and bring that up. We did promise her an hour, and we're coming up on that hour as we speak. But in the meantime, don't forget this face, especially this one with the cool hair. Okay, don't forget this face. Don't forget these comments. And for anyone that's joined us late, I'm going to replay this clip, but I'm going to ask a favor from her before I replay that clip that I showed you guys earlier. I'm just showing some of the statements that she's made and that are about herself as well. And here is the favor. Can you give us 5 dad jokes as we speak? Yes.
Right now. Right
now.
I don't know about 5, but I can tell you my favorite one for sure. That just every time without fail. My favorite one is, I called my husband yesterday to ask him if he thought I should pick up fish and chips on my way home from work. He gave me a little bit of a grunt. Pretty sure he still regrets letting me name our children.
Give us another one. give us another one, Brad.
When I was a kid, my dad used to put me in tires and roll me down hills. They were good years.
Oh no! Oh my. Okay, so that's enough of Brad. No.
and the
Oh my. You want to roll? One more. You got one more? One more?
I'd say the most popular one on my pages is, what do you call a teacher who never farts in public? It's a private tutor. I can't even see your face.
On behalf of Mark Knows Everyone and BELLE Entertainment, I apologize for this hour of torture. I'm sure she means well. I'm sure she still has in-laws. I still like the Goodyear one. That was kick ass. You got ha-has going on the screen here, so that was good. So look, we are going to follow you profusely. Of course, we can't get the books until November what?
18th.
18th. Are you going to do a preview of that? Is there a chance they might come out earlier?
As far as I know, that's not an option, but I think I received some, and we're going to do some contests for people who follow to get some signed books early, maybe. That's what I'm working on right now.
Sorry, private tutor. I just got it.
Okay. You see how they take
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Yeah.
I'm glad it hit.
Private tutor.
Glad.
Oh my God, I gotta remember that one. Private tutor. That's okay. Anyway, um, so you can pre-order on these formats, correct?
Yeah, on those formats, or if you go on to Mom's Dad Jokes link tree, then you'll be able to find the link to those as well. It's all on my link tree.
Okay. I don't know what other question I have in concerning the ordering, concerning getting the book, but I'm an Amazon freak, so I'll do that as soon as I hang up with you and order my copy here. But you have fun? Did you have a good time?
This is great.
We're kicking you off, girl. We're kicking you to the curb right now, you know. So yeah, I hope you have a private tutor. Okay, I hope you had fun. I really do.
I had a great time.
Well, good. You don't have to lie to me, but that's okay. But
I'm not a good liar. I'm not good at it.
Yeah. So where I know you're at a location where the rest of your family is not. Are they watching? Do you know who may be watching related to you or things like that? I believe
that there are people watching, yes. I'm not 100% sure. They sent it out, and Andrew there that was commenting earlier was one of my subscribers. So there's some people that I recognized on there. But I got a quiet place to do this today because my children would never allow for me to have an hour of uninterrupted time.
Well, we got excellent viewing numbers that keeps popping up on my screen, but it's never the total. I don't get the total viewing numbers until the show is over. And then even with the show is over, and I want to bring this up to people, if you know of anyone who wanted to see Brett in her first webcast appearance, webcast appearance, we are broadcasting, of course, over YouTube. And of course, any of our MBL Entertainment Facebook pages, you can find it. So the broadcast will be on YouTube basically until forever, until doomsday. So you can share that link. I would implore that you just send that link out to your friends and neighbors. We're not responsible for the jokes that she told here. We tried to stop her, but
nah, that's all on me. I'll take that. I'll own it every day, all day.
Well, you are absolutely incredible. And do me a favor, just hang around for a sec. Don't log off when we end the show here. But I want to submit our viewing audience to a little bit, additional torture here. So just hang around. She did this on purpose, ladies and gentlemen, just letting you know.
Did you guys hear that the company who makes yardsticks won't be making them any longer? What do you call 10 rabbits marching backwards? A receding hairline. You guys want to hear something crazy? This year for my birthday, I am only allowed to celebrate for half of a minute. Because it's my 32nd birthday.
There's something happened in your childhood. I'm not sure what it was. It was a positive thing. Don't get me wrong. It was a positive thing, but
I was loved too unconditionally is what it was. They were like, "You're good just the way you are," and I didn't question them, and I kept going.
Well, everyone's saying you were incredible. We thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen. Like I said before, you can go ahead and pick up this show at any point on YouTube or Facebook, or just contact us personally at MBL Entertainment Group. We're on Facebook. We're all over the place. We do a Saturday morning cartoon show every Saturday. We do classic television SmackDown. I'm a classic guy. I was born in the 60s, but I'm literally a product of the 70s, and I loved everything in the 70s. I have co-hosts who loved everything in the 80s, and another one that loved everything in the 90s or whatever. But, I'm from the second best generation. I'm just saying. So I know what I'm talking about. These guys love you here online. We appreciate it so much. Thank you so much, Brett. Hang around. The rest of you, have a great Sunday and a cool Sunday, especially it being super hot now here in Orlando, and gets hotter tomorrow and the next day. Thank you for watching on a Sunday. Sorry to interrupt your dinner time if that happened. And hopefully we'll get to see and talk to you guys soon. Brett, you were awesome. Oh my God, I'm impressed.
Thank you.
Stand by. Thank you.
I will. Thanks, everyone.